If disaster struck tonight, right this very moment, would you honestly be ready? Take a second and think about it. Most people aren't. In fact, FEMA knows that the majority of households in America are dangerously unprepared, and that's a problem. Because let's be real, disasters aren't what-ifs anymore. They're when power grid failures, violent storms, pandemics, earthquakes, we've seen them all, and chances are we'll see them again. The only question is, will you be scrambling for supplies when it happens, or will you already be ready? In this video, I'm breaking down the 10 critical emergency items FEMA says every household must have, and here's the shocking part: most people don't even own half of them. But I won't stop there. I'm also going to share a few life-saving tools that FEMA doesn't even mention, things that could literally decide whether you make it through a disaster or get caught completely off guard. I've spent over a decade digging into survival strategies, testing gear, and studying FEMA's official disaster readiness plans. But I didn't just read documents. I looked at real-world emergencies, what people actually ran out of, and what they desperately wished they had when everything went wrong. So trust me, this isn't just another checklist. Stick around, because you're about to learn survival in a way you've never heard it before. And wait until we hit number 9. It's the one item almost nobody talks about, yet it might just be the single most important thing on this entire list. Quick question before we dive in. Have you noticed shelves clearing out, prices spiking on bottled water, masks, or even first aid kits? If you have, drop your experience in the comments. Let's compare notes and help each other stay ahead of the curve, because once shortages hit, it's already too late. Alright, let's get into the very first item. No surprises here, it's water, your absolute lifeline. Without it, you're done. It's that simple. FEMA ranks water as priority number 1, and for good reason. You can go weeks without food, but you won't last more than a few days without water. That's why FEMA recommends storing at least 1 gallon per person, per day, for a minimum of 3 days. But let's be honest, 3 days is the bare minimum. If you've got a family of 5, you're looking at 15 gallons of water just to scrape by, and that's not even counting the extra you'll need for cooking, basic hygiene, and yes, even brushing your teeth. Now here's the good news. Stockpiling water doesn't need to drain your wallet. The easiest and cheapest method: grab those gallon jugs from the store and start stacking. But that's just the start, because I'll also show you smarter, longer-lasting storage methods as we go deeper into this list. When it comes to building your water stash, you don't need to panic buy hundreds of bottles overnight. The smartest way is to build it up gradually. Every time you head to your local grocery store, just toss an extra gallon jug or 2 into your cart. They're usually around $1 each, and before you realize it, you'll have a solid emergency supply stacked and ready. Now if space is tight, say you're in an apartment or you don't have much storage, there's a better option: stackable water cubes. These 5 or 7 gallon containers are reusable, durable, and come with built-in spouts that make pouring super easy. They're like the pro version of water storage, and they're a lifesaver for anyone who doesn't have the luxury of a big basement or garage. Speaking of garages, here's a common mistake. Don't store your water where it gets hot, like in sheds or areas that bake in the summer sun. Heat and direct light can break down the plastic and ruin the taste, or worse, make it unsafe. Always keep your supply in a cool, dark spot, a closet, under the bed, or a shaded corner of your home. Here's another pro tip that even seasoned preppers forget: water has a shelf life. Yes, even bottled water. That's why you need to rotate your supply. Experts say you should replace it every 6 months to a year. To make it foolproof, grab a permanent marker and write the date on each jug, the day you buy it. That way, you'll never have to guess when it's time to swap it out. But what if you get caught completely off guard? What if you have no stash when the warning sirens go off? Here's what you do. Head straight to your bathroom and fill up the bathtub. A full tub can hold dozens of gallons, enough to keep a family going for days. You can also fill up clean soda bottles, pitchers, and pots. Just make sure they're thoroughly washed. When it comes to emergency water, cleanliness isn't optional. One mistake here can make a bad situation 100 times worse. Bottom line, water is non-negotiable. Without it, you're in serious trouble. But once you've locked that down, it's time to move on to your second lifeline: food, your survival fuel. When disaster hits, grocery store shelves empty in hours. Roads may be blocked, deliveries stopped, and doors locked. If you don't have food stored at home, you're in for a very rough ride. FEMA recommends at least 3 meals per person per day, for at least 3 days. Do the math. That's 45 meals for a family of 5. It sounds like a mountain of food, but with the right approach, it's easier to build than you think. The smartest place to start: canned goods. They're cheap, easy to find, and they last. If stored properly, most canned foods will stay good for 2 to 5 years. Beans, soups, vegetables, fruits, they're the foundation of any emergency pantry. When it comes to emergency food, variety and practicality are everything. Sure, canned beans and veggies are great, but don't forget protein-packed options like tuna, chicken, chili, or even canned fruit. These are lifesavers because they don't need refrigeration and can be eaten straight out of the can if it comes down to it. Just remember one simple thing: a manual can opener. You'd be surprised how many people stockpile cans, but forget this one tool. And when the power's out, that electric opener sitting in your kitchen won't do you any good. If you want something even more compact and calorie-dense, step into the world of MREs, meals ready to eat. These are the same packs used by the military, survivalists, and rescue workers. They're lightweight, fully sealed, and often come with utensils and even flameless heaters. One MRE can deliver anywhere from 1,200 to 2,000 calories, making it a powerhouse meal in a single bag. They're easy to stash in a closet, car, or bug-out bag, and they'll stay good for up to 5 years. Now, if you're looking at long-term preparedness, freeze-dried meals are where things get serious. You've probably seen those big storage buckets online or in outdoor stores. They might look expensive at first, but here's the payoff. They can provide 60 to 100 servings and last up to 25 years if kept in a cool, dry spot. That means, once you buy them, you can basically forget about them until the day you need them. Of course, survival isn't just about calories, it's about morale too. Don't underestimate the power of snacks. Granola bars, trail mix, or peanut butter are all calorie-rich, require zero preparation, and can be eaten on the go. And if you've got kids, toss in some comfort foods like crackers or cookies. In a high-stress situation, a small treat can feel like a big deal. But here's the catch: food storage only works if you manage it right. Keep everything in a cool, dry place, away from sunlight and moisture. Rotate your stockpile every 6 months to a year so nothing goes bad on you. And most importantly, don't forget the people you're actually feeding. If someone in your family has allergies or dietary restrictions, plan for it now. Emergencies aren't the time to find out you overlooked a life-threatening detail. The bottom line is simple: food isn't just about filling your stomach, it's about survival, energy, and even emotional strength. Plan ahead, or you'll regret it. Now, once you've locked down water and food, there's another survival essential that's often overlooked, but it could be just as important. Imagine this: the power is out, your phone's battery is dead, and the internet is gone. You're completely cut off. How are you going to know what's happening outside your front door? That's where an emergency radio becomes your lifeline. FEMA strongly recommends every household have one. Not just any radio, but one that's battery-powered or hand-crank, and ideally one that also supports solar charging. This isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. And here's why: in a crisis, in a disaster, staying informed can literally mean the difference between life and death. That's where an emergency radio becomes more than a gadget. It's your connection to the world when everything else goes dark. With one, you can receive real-time updates from the National Weather Service, local authorities, and emergency broadcasts. Whether it's a hurricane, wildfire, or a massive power grid failure, knowing what's happening and where to go for help is absolutely critical. Let me paint a picture for you. When Hurricane Sandy slammed New York City in 2012, entire neighborhoods were left in darkness for days, some even weeks. Relief stations, food distribution points, and shelters were set up just blocks away, but thousands of residents didn't know. Why? No internet, no TV, and no emergency radio. They were completely cut off, trapped in their homes, and left guessing about what to do next. That's the kind of scenario you want to avoid at all costs. So what should you look for in an emergency radio? At a minimum, it should have 3 power options. A hand crank ensures you can generate power manually when everything else fails. A solar panel lets it recharge in sunlight, perfect if the power grid is down for days. And a USB charging port allows you to use a power bank, car, or laptop while you still have limited access. Some models even come with built-in flashlights, emergency sirens, and phone charging ports, which can be life-saving extras. Radios like the Voyager Eden Sidekick or the budget-friendly Running Snail are solid, reliable options. Placement matters too. Keep your radio in a central, easily accessible spot, inside your emergency kit, or somewhere everyone in the household can grab it. And don't just store it, test it periodically to make sure it works when you actually need it. Remember, when everything else fails, your emergency radio is your lifeline to the outside world. Never underestimate its importance. Next up is your first aid kit, your personal ER at home. Let's be honest, no one wants to think about getting hurt during a disaster. But here's the harsh reality: chaos can strike fast. Hospitals may be overwhelmed, roads blocked, and professional medical help could be hours, or even days away. That's why a proper first aid kit is non-negotiable. And don't think of it as just a box of band-aids. A well-stocked kit is your lifeline for handling injuries, from minor cuts to serious wounds. You'll need the basics: adhesive bandages, sterile gauze, medical tape, antiseptic wipes. But a truly effective kit goes beyond that. It should include items for stabilizing injuries, managing pain, and even dealing with common medical emergencies when professional help isn't immediately available. And that's just the beginning. A truly effective first aid kit goes far beyond band-aids and gauze. Add antibiotic ointments, tweezers, scissors, and non-latex gloves to your arsenal. Pain relievers like ibuprofen, acetaminophen, or aspirin are a must-have. Don't forget a thermometer and burn cream. These cover minor injuries. But if you want to survive and stay comfortable during a disaster, there are a few extras you absolutely need. Take burn gel, for example. Whether it's from a house fire, a cooking accident, or boiling water during a blackout, burns happen more often than you think. Having a cooling gel on hand can prevent infection and speed up recovery. Next, stock over-the-counter medications. Antihistamines like Benadryl for allergic reactions, antidiarrheal medicine for stomach issues, and cold or flu medicine. These may seem minor, but in a prolonged emergency, they can be life-saving. If anyone in your household relies on prescription medications, plan ahead. Talk to your doctor about keeping an extra 30-day supply. During a disaster, pharmacies may be closed or inaccessible, and running out of critical meds is a risk you cannot afford. Here's something most people overlook: infection control. In emergencies, clean water is scarce, and even a small cut can spiral into a serious infection. Stock up on antiseptics, sterile tools, and extra gloves to keep wounds clean. And don't forget to check your kit regularly. Medications expire, and supplies run out. The bottom line: a first aid kit isn't just a box of supplies. It's your emergency room when the real one isn't an option. Don't skimp on it. Your health and survival may depend on it. Now moving on to number 5 on the list. The whistle. Yes, a whistle. Sounds simple, maybe even silly, but this tiny tool can literally save your life. When FEMA recommends including one in your emergency kit, they mean it. Imagine this: you're trapped after an earthquake, flood, or tornado. Your phone is dead, your voice is hoarse from yelling, and no one knows where you are. This is where a whistle becomes a game changer. It's loud, sharp, and carries farther than a human voice. One simple blow can alert rescuers to your location when seconds count, cutting through the chaos around you. A whistle is simple, but it's life-saving. It's loud, piercing, and doesn't rely on batteries or even your vocal cords. One sharp blow says, "I'm here, come find me." Real-life disasters prove just how crucial this tiny tool can be. Take Hurricane Katrina as an example. Thousands of people were stranded in attics and on rooftops, surrounded by rising floodwaters. First responders were searching neighborhoods by boat and helicopter, but many stranded residents had no way to make themselves heard. Those who had a whistle, they sent a clear, unmistakable signal that cut through the chaos, guiding rescuers directly to them. Not all whistles are created equal. You want one that's ear-piercing loud. Look for models that hit 100 decibels or more. Some come with lanyards or clips, so you can keep them on you at all times. And don't just buy one, keep a few, one in your emergency kit, one in your car, and one on your keychain. Here's a pro tip. Practice using it in a stressful scenario. You don't want to be fumbling when every second counts. Teach your family members, especially kids, how to use it. A whistle might seem small and insignificant, but in a crisis, it could be your loudest cry for help.